Hi, I'm Austin Northam. Welcome to the Kitchen Table Podcast. I'm here to motivate, educate, and relate to you guys, sharing my stories, helping you get 1% better in all areas of your life. Welcome to episode 116. Some good things this week. Basically, just going to talk through some lessons I've learned, a lot of it where I saw God, and obviously the quote of the week this week. So without further ado, here we go. Hope to get you 1% better in about 14 minutes and 40 seconds. Quote of the week this week is by James Clear, who's an author. He wrote what's called Atomic Habits, is the book that I've read by him. Follow him on Twitter. Really good day-to-day life, things to do a little bit better, which adds up to getting 1% better. So I really love his content. Makes you think, makes you reflect. But I got a couple of good quotes. One quote from him this week was, who knows you is more important than who you know when you're trying to establish a brand, right? So if people know who you are, they can come to you versus people who you know, you can reach out to them. Hey, can I do this? It'd be great if we could market this together. Here's my idea for this product, whatever it is, versus somebody knows you, they're coming to you, and then you can also shoot off them ideas. So you can expand your basis of who you are interacting with if people know you. So ways to do that today would be social media, obviously still word of mouth, but the internet and kind of those media sources are a huge way in order to do it. I always am a big believer of not having clickbait and doing things properly, but you can do what you want with that. But just remember, when you're trying to build something, when you get known is more important than who you know. A lot of times it starts with who you know, and then it grows from there. So think about what you're doing when people are watching, people aren't watching, because you never know who knows you and what impact that might have on a future opportunity. Another quote I like this week, just in terms of reflecting, something that my dad sent me actually this morning. So it talks about, does this decision, basically every decision that you make, does it make you want to help you to go somewhere in the future, right? So if your ultimate goal is to play a professional sport, do your day-to-day decisions help you do that? Or are you staying up late at night playing video games till midnight? Or are you going to bed at 10 o'clock so you can get your rest and be able to get up for school tomorrow and learn and go to practice, et cetera, et cetera. So every little decision you make, you need to decide if that's going to help you get closer to your goal or further away. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have a bowl of ice cream here or there. I think that's good for the soul as well. But do your decisions, maximize your potential. We always talk about hitting the bell at the carnival, trying to get to 100. Does that decision help you get closer to that full potential? Or is it going to keep you level or take you back a little bit more? We always want to get 1% better. So we want those decisions to be in our favor. And I think that's a great way. It's kind of like WWJD. What would Jesus do? Same type of thing, only without the Jesus component. So think about if it's helping you. If it's not helping you, then maybe consider why you're doing it and then how you get out of doing that a little bit more. And that's one of the things I need to get better at that I wrote down this week looking at my goals is I need to get better at some small details. The big ones are kind of overarching ones I'm doing really good, but how can I focus on little bits of form here, 15 minutes here in order to maximize my time and get those details better to create those habits, which James Clear talks about a lot, in order to make sure that I am reaching my daily goals to help the overarching long-term goals be successful. The other where I saw God this week, two ways. One of the things I want to talk about is there's some big storms this past weekend in my neck of the woods, and being confident that I know what's going on, learning from the meteorologist on TV, and just being interested in that is a curiosity. I think can go a little bit of ways, and then also trusting people you see, and then ultimately storm missing us, new house, all that kind of stuff. Either if it's old house as well. Feel for those people who do have damage in the amount of cleanup and how it kind of puts a big burden on their life. For instance, I know people have home insurance and all that kind of stuff, but there's still emotional damage to that, as well as losing your things and having to kind of recreate that. And everybody's in a different spot financially as well. But just thankful that the storm missed our neighborhood, and that we were safe, and our buildings and neighbors around us were safe as well. Because you never know, you never feel that anxiety until it's almost here. Then it's a big, interesting thing to you. And it's nerve wracking, essentially. My dog might bark here, by the way. There it is. The other thing that I had this week that I saw God in is I saw something. I was on Facebook, I think, which is crazy. I'm not a big social media guy in terms of just browsing to browse, but I remember looking at it this week, and it had a post from my old church, and it said, "Stop worrying that if it's God's plan, it will happen, and if not, that will at least give you some acceptance or peace in knowing that." Right. Last week I talked about having acceptance in the worst thing that could happen in a workout, knowing that, hey, I could possibly have a bad time here. I missed the lift, but I'm going to feel the same crappiness no matter what, so I might as well give it my all because that's what matters. Same thing here. To just put the burden onto God, not your shoulders. If you really want something to happen, like I really want this sports psychology client, I really want to be at this fitness level by a certain time. I really want to make this much money. I want to have this done to the house. All that will happen in due time. Some of it's obviously on our effort, but if it's not meant to happen, then it's not meant to happen. And then it's okay to go a different route, right? So if something doesn't work out, like in my things in March with some psychology things, there might be some other opportunities in the summer that might actually be a blessing in disguise. Will that work out? I don't know. I put my ducks in a row and put my best foot forward. And if it happens, great. If not, then we go back to the drawing board and something will happen. The big break will come. And something I have on my wrist, John 14:13, whatever you do in the name of the Lord, it will come to you. So I think that having that in the back of your mind and then coming to the forefront at times of need is super important. I'm sorry about my dog. I don't want to restart this again. But that's where we're at with that. So I think stop worrying, putting the burden on God, and you just loving life, seeing the sunshine even in the cloudy days is really important. The other thing I saw this week is I have a kicker friend who is in the UFL now and had been kicking basically just on his own, doing stuff, working out hard, being ready, and he had gotten opportunities before. But then somebody made a video about him practicing the week before, preparing for a game, gets signed this week, and then hits a game winner. So I was thinking about, are we really preparing for the ultimate moment, or are we just out there having fun doing what we think is the best? All right, so if we can totally prepare for full on, what's the hardest situation I can do, and prepare for that weekly, not every single time we kick, but at least in given moments, able to try to replicate that, whether it's given a business pitch, whether it's how to prepare, be organized, have a family, whether that is how to give write a proper test, or it's in order to perform in some sort of athletic or even academic endeavor. I think we really need to prepare how we're going to play or perform in that time. So it just really brought that to light. Like, oh yeah, people are like, yeah, I might hit a game winner. Like, yeah, I'll figure it out when the time comes. But you need to try to feel that way in practice in order to make it happen in a game. So that way it's not new to you. And that's what a lot of what I do for sports psychology in my mental training is, how do we prepare now the best we can, so when the moment comes that we are prepared. Readiness depends on preparedness, and preparedness is 100% in our control. Right, just like our attitude and effort, because that's part of what it is attitude and effort. That's a great quote. I should write that down after this, actually. So anyways, prepare for the ultimate endeavor so that you're ready when the ultimate endeavor comes there and you can come through. And that just makes you that much more locked in. And those decisions, back to those, the early conversation, needs to match in order to help you have the most success. The more success you have, the better known you will be, the more kind of success overall, if you want to put it that way. I don't like that term, but that you will have in general. So that's what I was thinking this week. Honestly, that is really all I have for this week. But go out there. 3 things that really stick out to me from this episode is, 1, count your blessings. First and foremost, friends, family, what you have in life, not what you don't have. Number 2, do things daily to help you reach those ultimate goals, whether that's to prepare for the ultimate endeavor, I keep saying, prepare mentally, prepare physically, so that you can obviously reach those goals. And then number 3, keep reflecting on what's going on, or you can make changes, and also reflect that some things are out of your control, and put that onto God's shoulders, not yours, and just be happy with where you're at in life. We can always get better, but it can always be worse too. So count your blessings, be happy, find God, and ultimately do your part. That's all I got for you this week. I'll catch you guys next week on episode 117. Love you. Bye.